Now, the physical side of your life, like working out, tattoos, do you feel like that is another facet of your character?
Well, tattoos not so much, in that all my tattoos are from the Reagan era. They're old like me, and now they're turning purple and running, so I look like the guy in the Norman Rockwell painting, and that's fine. So when I was young, it was just basically decals on the chassis. At this point, at almost 52 years of age, I'm not really concerned on what the paint looks like as much as I'm concerned with what I think, how I think, and what I can get done.
Right.
But as far as going to the gym and all of that, when I was young and in high school, like I told you before, I couldn't throw the ball, too small for any sport really. And so the weights, you could lift weights though. You could go to the gym and just lift weights because they're just sitting there begging to be lifted. And so I had a high school teacher who was a Vietnam vet, and I would carpool with him sometimes. And he said,
He seems to be a huge influence.
Huge. And he said, you're really skinny. He always was not that friendly. Anyway, he said, I'm going to teach you how to lift weights. You're going to do everything I say. I went, okay. And so I did all the lifts that Mr. Pepperman instructed me to do. And it was the first substantive change I had made to myself. And when you change your sheer physicality, when your body shape changes, that sense of accomplishment is probably one of the most propellant forces in my life today. And the muscles, who cares about the muscles? It's the applying yourself, it's the discipline. It's a great journey. And to this day, that keeps the stress down to a minimum. So I'm not going to medicate with heroin or alcohol or marijuana. That's just not where I'm coming from. And so,
and was that ever an option for you?
I got drunk like 3 or 4 times in high school, and just never liked it. It really was depressing.
3 or 4 times?
I just never liked it. It was never. I did it. I was like, I don't like this, and now I'm going to vomit. And no one really around me did it. Could be my body chemistry. I mean, I don't even drink wine at dinner. I do no alcohol except in my Listerine. And I smoked marijuana once and really didn't like that. It was really boring, and I couldn't wait for it to be over. I'd much rather, my high being on stage or just playing a record or, life is fine. The rest of it could be just my biochemistry. It was all a depressant. All of it was a bummer.
That's
Which is
very
probably
interesting.
perhaps lucky, because some people might find it obviously much to their liking.
That's right.
I looked at this kind of horrible alcohol product where you like lie on your side like you're in an opium den and just spike it open and just let it drain into you. Well, what vineyard was it from? There ain't no goddamn vineyard. You just drink the wine and you get screwed up and you go rob a liquor store and get some more and then you rape your daughter, you idiot.
While you were with Black Flag, you also did spoken word. What did spoken word do for you that you feel like you couldn't necessarily get out of the music?
It allowed me to be on some tangent or do whatever I wanted and not have it be merely between songs where the rest of the band's like, what are you doing?
Right.
And so in 1983, there's a club down the road from here, and they would have a great, this like night, like once a week, where they get like 15 people on stage a night. Everyone gets like 10 minutes. And so one night the promoter said, you got a big mouth. Why don't you get up there next week? I went, I don't know, man. And I said, why? He said, because we're offering $10. I went, I'll take that action. And so the next week I went up there and said, well, here's what happened to us yesterday at band practice. And I told a story about what had happened at band practice when a white supremacist tried to run over our guitar player, actually with a car. And Greg had to run up on a lawn as the guy tried to mow him down. Anyway, I told that story, and the audience were like, they're like, what? And for us, it's just Tuesday. I mean, that's kind of a day in the life of Black Flag. And I said, yep, and well, my time is up, I gotta go. And everyone's like, no, tell another one. And so afterwards, people said, that was really cool. I said, what? They go, the story. I went, yeah, it's crazy. They go, no, you should do more shows like that, where you just tell stories. I mean, that was awesome. And of all the things I've ever done in my life, it was the one thing that felt the most natural. Just being on stage with no one else on stage, it's just me and a microphone relating to you, the audience. That felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. The music is funner. It's like a thrill ride. But that felt like, there I am.
Talk to me about the power of the audience's reaction when you're performing.
My objective is to hold them, to keep that line of communication open, and to hold them to where when I finally say thank you, good night, they're like, ugh, wow, what a ripoff. He was only on stage for half an hour 2 hours. Like I want them to go like, it felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the way to do that, you have to burn so much neural tissue on stage. You are pushing so many calories out of yourself to hold on to them.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to still a stormy sea.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to do. It's like trying to wrestle a marlin back to your boat with dental floss. You can do it, but you have to be really artful. And so the audience reaction to me, I don't care about applause or laughter. It's a connection you make where you literally feel like you are stopping time. And so there's moments on stage where you're just like, the whole world is just waiting, for the next thing to happen. And we're all waiting for it together. And there's these magic moments on stage where like, this is bigger than all of us in this building. And I'm not saying I'm the proponent of that. I'm just saying we're all in this collective moment together. But to be aware of it and to some degree kind of being the ringmaster of it, it's a lot of pressure. And thankfully, I don't take myself seriously, but I take the audience real seriously. I really fear failing them. I love them so much. They have no idea how much more I need them than they'll ever need me. They are everything. They're the reason I do all the books. They're the reason they're it. They're my it. And thankfully, it's given my life a lot of, I know why I get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing to get up to.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
This was super enlightening.
Well, thanks for the forum.
Thank you. Next time on Artist Talk, part 2 of my interview with Henry Rollins. We will get more political as we explore Henry's views on issues affecting our world.
I'm not trying to cause unrest. I'm trying to start a conversation.
It's so emotionally grounded where you come from.
Minds have to change because the paperwork's already been laid out. The Constitution's the Constitution. That's it. You can amend it.
So people are not following the rules.
Don't treat your fellow Americans like it's box wine with a 30% discount. These are people.
We have ideas, and usually they look at us and, oh, you're a musician, so what do you know?
Someone who would go across a desert that can kill you, I'm honored to share a country with you.
That's heavy, man.
It's as heavy as it could possibly get.
Check it out.